The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
That's weird.
Yeah.
The station.
Hold on.
I hope that I can be heard. There's Danny. Danny should be in the studio now. Danny, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I still can't hear you, brother. Not sure if it's a problem here or there.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Freedom Chat, where real Americans speak their minds. And no topic is off limits. No scripts, no judgment, just honest conversation. Raw, unfiltered, and free. If you're ready to challenge the narrative and celebrate true freedom, you're in the right place. This is Freedom Chat.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know if anybody can hear. Mom, can you hear?
They should be able to hear everybody. Well, yeah, they should be able to hear everybody now.
All right, Mom, we on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, D.
Okay.
All right, so we can add Dennis to the stage. And there's Mom. Mom, can you hear what's going on?
I can barely hear you, Mark. I don't know what's wrong.
All right, well that's good. I can hear you, and that's what really matters right now. It means that we at the show. All right, Mom, you have 5 minutes. Whatever it is that you want to talk about, we're gonna let you start this show, and then Dennis and I are gonna respond to what you're talking about. Okay?
And I'm on my phone because I can't get to it on the laptop.
Okay. Well, try the laptop again now that we've got things kind of working. Try the laptop again. It's not the end of the world. So in order to have some continuity, Dennis, 5 minutes, whatever it is you want to cover for 5 minutes, you have the floor. And then I'll give the floor to Mom.
Well, I don't know if it's going to take 5 minutes or not, but I do want to touch on the subject with the Secretary of War and the steak and lobster. I don't see any problems with that. That's the least that our tax dollars can do, considering what we've got going on in Minnesota. So, I want to just say kudos to them and to him, and I'm glad that they got to enjoy something very nice for a change, because I know that they don't always get that. So I'm very happy for them, and God bless our troops, and I hope they all stay safe. And Get home soon. Get this done and over with.
All right. Well, here's my 2 cents on steak and lobster. Um, Steak and lobster in the military, especially in the Navy, was never looked at as a good thing, especially when you were a sailor that had steak and lobster, because steak and lobster usually followed extra time at sea, and God knows we didn't need extra time at sea. So we didn't always like steak and lobster. That said, steak and lobster is not an uncommon thing in all of the military. So
Right.
this was one of those, the left, especially the left media, not necessarily the left politicians. The left politicians knew this was going on. This is not something that is uncommon in the military. So, most of us who've been around it, steak and lobster, yeah, not what you think it is, but also not something that should be ridiculed. I don't know whose sound is on, but
Mine?
lose it. Yes, probably yours, Mom. Did you get on?
What do you want me to?
Yet? Did you try the laptop again?
I'm not getting anywhere with the laptop. If you want me to spend time on that, I
No.
can. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get onto it.
Don't worry. We'll figure it out for next week, Mom. It's all good. What is your position on the whole steak and lobster, man?
One more thing for the leftists to get their panties in a wad about.
Wow.
Right.
My mom said panties in a wad. That's awesome. All right. So a little bit of we have a new studio, and when you get a new studio, there's going to be glitches and gremlins. And this is actually the very first show being broadcast from the new studio. So I first want to make sure I say thank you to Joel, who is behind the glass, kind of running things for right now. Next week, I am hoping to have Dennis in studio and Mom in studio, because A, there's the elevator, and B, there's a bunch of restaurants. So we can do the show and then kind of celebrate the show for the first time, everybody on studio. That'd be kind of cool. So next week, that's my target, is to have everybody on studio and working together. Mom, what is it that you want to talk about for 5 minutes? You got 5 minutes, whatever it is you want to cover, and then we're going to respond to it.
Since you caught me off guard here, I'm not sure exactly where to start. There's too much to go on.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Well, it is a bad thing. First of all, I watched Victor Hansen. You know who I'm talking about?
Yep, I know who you're talking about.
Talk about Obama using funerals of people like Jesse Jackson as a political ploy to make himself look better and to divide the country. And I think that's pretty typical of Obama. Anytime he can get around a microphone, that's what he does.
I am glad you mentioned it. Dennis, did you and I talked about this yesterday over on the phone when I was on my way home. I am glad you brought that up. Here's, for those of you who don't know what that is about. Jesse Jackson passed away last month, and the funeral was last weekend, right? Last Friday. It was the funeral, or was it Saturday? Anyway, it was last weekend. Here's what everybody is not wanting to talk about, and here's what nobody is covering, especially in the leftist mainstream propaganda-driven media. Jesse Jackson's son specifically asked President Obama, President Clinton, and President Sleepy Joe Biden to not talk about politics during the funeral. All three brought up Donald Trump, and all three went completely political in their speech where they were supposed to be honoring Jesse Jackson for this funeral. This the other people that were there were let me see, Kamala Harris was there, of course Hillary Clinton was there, and that's what happened. Instead of honoring Jesse Jackson Jr. and by extension Jesse Jackson, the three of them all turned this speech to honor this man and the work that he did into a political diatribe. And Jesse Jackson Jr. called them out for it. Jesse Jackson's words, "You don't know my dad." Dennis,
Right.
what would you like to add on this? Because I'm gonna add more to what I think about that, but I want to hear Dennis's comment first.
Well, yeah, Jesse Jr. is totally in the right. I mean, that's very disrespectful. I think, no matter your opinion of Jesse Jackson, um, all in all, he's still a human being, and that was a memorial for him, not for any political soapbox. Um, so yeah, kudos to Jesse Jr. I think he's totally in the right for saying what he said, and I'm glad that he got a chance. Somebody got a chance to put them in their place.
Yeah.
Obama. And,
So here comes the $1,000,000 question. Why do they think they can get away with doing that again and again and again? And follow-up question: who is going to tell President Obama that he is completely out of line and that he is the most divisive president that we've had in modern times? I'll start. President Obama is the most divisive president that we've had in modern times, not President Donald Trump. You don't have to like that, but you better understand it. That man created the racial division that we've had since he came into office in 2008. He had multiple opportunities to unite us as a nation, to bring pride to our flag, to bring pride to our history. And he did exactly the opposite. I did not see his speech at Jesse Jackson's funeral. Why would I want to see the man's speech when I already know what the man is going to do? That's my first take on it. My second take is, if you can't even respect someone who was on your ticket, who was a Democrat, and you can't respect what his son asked you to do, then why should any of us take anything you say with any credibility?
that's everything. That's everything you need to know about Democrats, man.
Yeah.
Plain
Yeah.
and simple.
And the sad thing is it's completely unnecessary. And even the more sad thing is it's completely unnecessary. Have you ever seen a Republican who goes into any one of these make it about the other party or by extension a specific person?
There's always those few, but not like Obama has done it.
Well, Mom, it's not just Obama. Clinton did it, and so did Biden. And this is the thing: that side of the
True.
fence, they use every opportunity to get behind a pulpit or get behind a podium to attack the other side. They actually believe everything they say, and for them, it's always about trying to stay on the offensive. That's one of the reasons that President Trump has been as effective as he's been, because he doesn't let them stay on the offensive. And I am a firm believer that you cannot allow that side free reign when it comes to pushing a narrative. You have to be willing to push back. You cannot allow them to put you on a defense. So for any of you guys out there that want to make any comments about what we're talking about right now, I say bring it on. I'll be happy to read your comments, and I'll be happy to respond to your comments. You might not like my response. You might not like my mom's response, and you might not like Dennis's response, but you're going to get a response, and I will not be on the defensive. If you guys have seen my shows now and our shows, you know I don't believe in being on the defensive. You know that I'm going to come right back at you. That's just the way this show operates. I'm glad that you brought that one up, Mom. That was one that really bent me out of shape because Jesse Jackson was really good friends with Donald Trump. And for them to just basically ignore the legacy of Jesse Jackson at his funeral is atypical. I wasn't shocked. I was just disgusted by it.
Yeah, nothing
True.
shocking.
So I have one that I want to talk about. Virginia is trying to ban high capacity magazines and weapons with high capacity magazines. Yeah. Mom, unless you're talking, Dennis, Joel is going to mute you so we don't have the feedback. Okay. I'll kind of give you the floor periodically. All right. And Mom, nobody can hear you right now because Joel's got you blocked.
Well, that's all that feedback's coming from her phone
Yeah, it's
because
all
of the show, right?
yeah.
Yeah, make me the bad guy. She has to come to this location sooner or later.
All right, so Virginia has decided that they want to ban military grade weaponry. All right, you can, and I had Joel research this a couple about 3 weeks ago. You can buy a cannon as an American citizen, and you're not exempt from owning a cannon. You're not exempt from owning any weapon because the Second Amendment protects you from that. However, we have a true blue communist and you have a complete communist government in the state of Virginia. We also have one here in Colorado. I don't want anybody thinking that it's just a Virginia thing. But here's something that you didn't know about Virginia. Virginia is trying to ban all of these weapons from everyday American citizens. However, they are making themselves exempt from those same bans. Did you guys know that? Yes or no?
I heard that.
Mom, did you know that? That's what Virginia is trying to do? I know.
Read that they exempted. Well, I'm new. Virginia law that they're passing on the guns exempts the legislature from following the same law that they want everybody else to follow.
Right. That's what's crazy about this is that they are literally doing what we've been watching protests about. No kings, no kings. We shouldn't have any kings. No government. It should be government of the people, by the people, for the people. So why is it that the Virginia government has decided that they're going to behave exactly like kings? Someone out there explain that to me. Dennis, explain that to me.
I don't know how to explain that. Yeah, that's pretty much their mantra, I think, isn't it? Rules for thee except for me kind of thing. That just seems to be, the way they run things on that side of it. The no king thing. I don't even really understand what that whole thing's about, to be honest with you.
It was
There's no kings. I mean, we have a president. We have a president, whether it was Biden or Trump or whoever before, but there's no king. So I don't even get that.
Dennis, here's the thing. They were trying to make the connection that President Trump was acting like a king and that his policies were acting like a king. And that's really what was going on, which which honestly was very frustrating. If you ask me, it was very frustrating because it wasn't what was going on. The reality, what was going on was that the president was enforcing existing laws and wasn't exempting anybody. I mean, a king would exempt. Also, a king would have shut down any protests on the street because that's what a king's going to do. What was it that was once said? An assault on the king's soldiers is an assault on the king himself, right? That was never what was going on. That was never what is going on. But once again, what we see from and look, this is what's frustrating. We see this from the left. However, we also see voters that vote on the left just allow it. And hey, we're going to ignore everything that people that we agree with are going to say. Well, yeah, until they start taking away your rights and taking away your liberties on a regular basis. That's what they are going to do. And I've had this argument. Hell, I had this argument with the guy on our show a couple of times. They're going to keep doing this until we tell them to stop. The only problem is when we actually tell them to stop. Now, we've been telling them to stop. When we actually tell them to stop, it'll be too late. And then we're literally fighting for our country right here. And Dennis, I saw your post on Facebook earlier today. You're right. The enemies that we're fighting are right now internal. There were no less than 2 terrorist attacks from people of the Islamic, quote unquote, Islamic faith over this past week. And the people on the left are going to go, we don't want to be Islamophobic. I'm not Islamophobic. I'm calling it as I see it. Extremism is extremism. Doesn't matter whether it's right leaning or whether it's left leaning. It's extremism. And
the fatigue is real with the Islamophobia, man. I am so sick of that phobia crap. I'm not scared of you. I'm just sick of them. I don't want them here. They're not gonna assimilate, and they're not gonna. We don't mesh. So they need to leave. They need to leave.
I agree. And the sad part is that they are, quite frankly, the minority, but they've got the look at what's going on in New York, and try to understand that this has got nothing to do with people of the Muslim faith. I know people, I work with people who are of the Muslim faith. They don't require me to be anything other than what I am. And They don't require me to do anything other than what I do.
If you're just joining us now, you're listening to Freedom Chat right here on the station. Let our voices be heard. MBR. You can call, let them know your opinion right now. Call or text, whichever one you do. 720-619-0627. That number again is 720-619-0627.
Thank you.
Phone lines are open.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
But yeah, I think that this is a issue where you have one side. Once again, if we can create outrage, we're going to create outrage. And you've seen Hakeem Jeffries talk about Islamophobia, and then of course, one of our other Tommy Tuberville said, "I don't care." They're the ones that are committing acts of violence, and they're committing acts of violence against people that are, mostly Jews is who they're going after. But trust me, when they get the opportunity to go after Christians, they go after Christians too. And one of the things that I definitely want to talk about is radical Islamism and Islamism as a political faction, not as a religious group. I really want to have that conversation because history is bearing out to be true. Do you know that in Islamic countries where they are the dominant country, you can't be you can't, they don't allow you to be a Christian, and they target you as a Christian. I'm not saying that Christians have been completely clean, because look, they haven't been. But currently, it is the Muslim countries that are enacting violence on people of other faiths. That is, I hate saying it because it shouldn't be that way, but it is that way. Mom, I would like you to chime in. Joel, can you open my mom up?
Chime in on. I'm not sure. What I saw was that the worst thing that I saw was the car that, or the guy that went after the Jewish temple where the kids were, and somebody in the Islamic faith said that was just great. We should get them all, or something to that effect. And nobody said a word about that. It was okay to kill baby Jews, basically, is what they were saying. Mandami's wife is of that opinion, actually.
Okay, Mom. I'm gonna have Joel mute you so I can respond to that. So here's my response to that. When one side of the fence is, and look, there was a panel that was being done on another network, and there was a woman that basically said it's okay as long as it's Zionists that they're going after. Here's my response: if you don't respect life, then you're a problem. If you don't respect the right of other people to worship God as they see, then you're a problem. That side of the fence has always had a problem with how other people worship God. I am of the mindset that if you worship God, you're worshiping God. If you're not worshiping, look, Freedom Chat is about having these conversations. These are not easy conversations to have, and these are not fun conversations to have, but they are what we have to have. If you're not willing to acknowledge that this is a problem with a society, Mom Donnie did not at any time did Mom Donnie talk about what those people did, the guys that threw the bombs a couple weekends ago. They threw bombs with the intent to maim, hurt, and kill. The first thing that dude said was that the protests that they were pushing violence on was a Islamophobic protest and was disgusting. Was it? Was it really disgusting that what New Yorkers were saying was this is not, in fact, what we voted for? Because that's what that protest was about. The protest wasn't about Islamophobia and anti-Islamic. It was saying that what they voted for was not what they were getting. They were voting for less taxes. They were voting for I mean, obviously he won the election. They voted for free public transit. Are they getting? Here's the question for those of you who know anything about what's going on in New York. Are they getting what they voted for? Yes or no? Dennis, you go first. Are they getting what they voted for?
Oh, 100%.
No, actually, they're not getting what they voted for.
Oh no, that was us. I'm sorry.
Right. They're not getting what they voted for. Mom Donnie is okay. Here's a better way of asking the question. Is Mom Donnie making good on his campaign promises? Yes or no?
Absolutely no.
Mom, would you like to chime in on that one? There you go, Mom.
He is exactly what he said he was. If people would have actually listened instead of listened, if they didn't listen with their feelings, I want free stuff. And he would say, oh, I'll give you free stuff. Right. If they used their heads, they would have known right away, you can't do that because somebody has to pay for it.
Right.
And now they're getting exactly what they voted for. They thought they were voting for free stuff. Right. And they get free stuff all right, but it's not the free stuff they thought.
Right. So here's where I'm gonna I'm going to kind of educate people. Those of you who are in the lowest tax bracket, you pay 10% to 16% of your income taxes. That's the low income poverty people. Here's what you get if you are in the lower to middle, which is where myself, Dennis, and my mom all fall under. 12 to 26%. How do I know that? Because when we just paid our taxes, we fell into the 12% bracket. So when you start hearing these people on the left screaming about the rich need to pay their fair share, they are paying their fair share. In fact, the higher you go up, the more you pay on your income. The most wealthy pay anywhere from 50 to 60% of their income. They know how to work around a lot of that, but take my word for it. They are paying more than their fair share. What happens in areas that are overtaxing people at a higher tax bracket, that would be California, New York, now Colorado, Michigan, Minnesota, Washington State, and Oregon. They leave those areas, and then the people who were in lower tax brackets get moved up into higher tax brackets because the money still has to come from somewhere. So where do you think that money is going to come from? It's going to come from people like you. You're not making that much money, but it's still going to have to come out of your pocket. Congratulations. That is exactly what you voted for. It isn't what I voted for. It's not what my mom voted for, and it's not what Dennis voted for. And I guarantee you, the 35 people watching this show, it is also not what you voted for, but that's what you get because the money still has to come from somewhere. So
didn't he raise the bus rate?
Yeah.
Like just a week or two after he was elected?
He absolutely did. Because guess what? Zoran Mamdani is a pathological liar because here's the thing about people who are socialists or politicians who are socialists. They're all pathological liars, and it doesn't matter whether it's Zoran Mamdani or Bernie Sanders. They lie as easy as they breathe. They really don't give a rip about people who are not making that much money. They don't care about the lower class. If they cared about the lower class, they damn sure would not be running their taxes the way they run their taxes. But they don't care.
Your enemies come with smiles.
Right.
And that guy is always smiling.
And the sad thing is that we talk, the left likes to talk about Reaganomics. There is no such thing as Reaganomics. I don't want to hear Reaganomics ever again.
Oh,
they talk about trickle down economics. This is what trickle down economics is. The concept of we get the wealthy to pay more so that it can help relieve the pressure on the middle and lower class. The wealthy are not getting any more wealthy. Just don't. That is a total fallacy. That myth does not exist. What does exist is they go to places where they're not having to pay as much taxes, and the people who can't afford to move end up footing what the wealthy just walked away from. And the wealthy are smart for walking away from it. Believe me, if I could afford to leave the state of Colorado, I would leave the state of Colorado. If my wife could leave the state of Colorado, we would leave. Because what's the point? Okay, in the state of Colorado, do you actually think that the Democrat legislation is actually listening to you? Well, they had to listen about the decriminalization of prostitution because it got to way too much blowback. Thank God.
Yeah,
because that happened.
I have a question for you when you're done, Mark.
And they're getting a ton of blowback also when it comes to the gun controls that they're trying to push. They're getting blowback. And they're realizing that, oh, crap, we went too far. That is happening. That is the truth. That is happening.
Right.
But trust me, when they can get even further down the road, they will take it as far as they can. They will take it as far as they can. I think we got a break that we need to come up. And then, Dennis, you are welcome to ask the question.
Cool.
You're listening to Freedom Chat right here on the station that let the veterans' voices be heard, MPR. BR.
Those are cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
And what is this one?
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad?
No?
Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
Well, I love him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I think he's a real winner, Casey. If I were you, I wouldn't use protection.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.web.
Hey, no way, not me.
Right, man. Hey, Regrets.
No regret.
All right, Dennis, go ahead and ask what you were going to ask.
Okay, so regarding the Colorado state government and
Yes.
the governor's race.
Yes.
So, considering how far in debt Colorado is,
Why are they in debt?
if we actually do get a Republican governor elected, how long do you think it'll take to get us out of that hole?
It took him it took Governor Polis 8 years to drive Colorado into the ground.
So will it take 16 to get us out?
At least 16. You have to be willing to understand that, okay, what Donald Trump has done with the economy is nothing short of a miracle, because he was dealing with it. I always tell people, take and double the amount of time that it's going to take to fix.
Right.
4 years, it's going to take you a minimum of 8.
Yeah.
Remember that Donald Trump, when he came in the first time, was dealing with no less than 16. He was already dealing with 8. So it's going to take him 16. Well, what he's been able to do is nothing short of miraculous. And if he pulls off what he's pulling off with Iran, he'll correct it in the next 3 years.
Right.
But he, like I said, a lot of things have got to fall the right way. And for him, a lot of things have already fallen the right way. I mean, honestly, we can talk about Iran all we want, and I'm game to talk about what's going on in Iran. I don't think people understood the target with Iran wasn't Iran. The target with Iran was Russia and China.
Right.
And nobody wants to see that because they don't like to look at the big picture.
They didn't see the actual checkmate.
Right. On a personal level, I'm glad that he did what he needed to do. It should have been done, like I said, 45 years ago in 1983.
Absolutely.
That's when it should have really been done.
Should have never even been allowed to happen in the first place.
Yeah, but this is what happens when you have a radicalized, disenfranchised base, which is what the student base in Iran was at the time. They're looking, okay, we can go all the way back to the mid 30s and the Nazis. The Nazis were able to look at a very disenfranchised group of people, which were everyday Germans, and point a finger at a very specific group, which is what also the Khomeini did back in the 80s and in the late 70s. And if you're able to do that, hey, this is what you get, right? So looking at it from that perspective, this is what you're going to deal with on a historical basis. If you fast forward that to now, Trump never pointed a finger at anybody. That's the thing that gets, I mean, he points the finger at socialism, but he's not talking about socialists. He's talking about socialism as the problem. So if you are a socialist, he's talking about the political, socio-economical system that you are trying to choose to live in. Well, Karl Marx, who is the father of socialism / communism, was a bad dude. He was an atheist. In fact, he was worse than an atheist. And he's the one who created this concept of socialism. And on the surface, socialism sounds great. I mean, everybody gets a piece of the pie. Isn't that not what socialism states? The only problem is socialism only really supports a very small, minute number of people. So when you dig into what socialism is, and once again, I'm one of these people who tells you, don't take my word for it. All right. You might as well treat me like I don't know anything about what I'm talking about. But I do know what I'm talking about. I've said this again and again and again, and Dennis and I have talked about this, and my mom and I have talked about this. Socialism does two things really, really well. It creates suffering and death. And it does it in the most nefarious way because it gets the people who are suffering and the people who are dying to buy in to its garbage. And that is what it does. And once again, if you want to challenge me on this, prove it. Prove me wrong. Because I have the numbers. I don't have them directly in front of me, but I damn sure can pull the numbers up. It doesn't take long for me to do that. Hell, I can have Dennis bring up the numbers. A socialist dominated nation does nothing more than kill its people to make sure that it can control its people. It does it through controlling the food. It does it through controlling who has guns. It breaks it down. And look, they're really good at it. Mom Donnie was really good at selling a bill of goods that he absolutely could not cash. He could not deliver that bill of goods. And he's going to sit there and he's going to blame Islamophobia because that's an emotional hotbed. Islamophobic. You must be Islamophobic because you don't like me. No, it's got nothing to do with you believing in Allah or whatever you're believing in. It is that you lied to the New York people. You can't deliver on what you promised you were going to deliver on. And now you're going to make the people who literally cannot afford to, you're going to make them foot the bill? Oh, and you were a millionaire to begin with. You are a total fallacy. You are what Jesus Christ would have called a wolf in sheep's clothing.
I have a question, Mark.
Go ahead.
So, are there currently any societies or civilizations existing that actually have a positive result from socialism or communism?
No, there are socialist concepts in places like Norway and I believe Sweden.
In Finland,
Mom, is that right? Hang on a second, Mom. Am I right? It's Norway and Sweden, right?
Norway and Sweden, and both of them, well, Sweden at least has modified theirs because they figured out it doesn't work.
Right. And
they went so socialist, they found out they were going broke.
Okay,
right.
And
funny how that works.
Really, it is. It's healthcare is what it is. And I was going to get into that.
I was going to say, isn't Germany social?
Pseudo. They're
actually
socialist.
Actually, I think right now you might as well call Germany and France and Britain all
pseudo
socialists because that's what they've become.
They're as
and they're dominated. At least Britain and France are becoming totally dominated by the radical Muslims.
Right. So what we're learning about this is, and we're okay. In fact, if Dennis and Mom are on board, next week we are going to talk about Muslim-driven governments and Islamic-driven governments, and we're going to go all the way back to Muhammad. And
I'm on board, and I'll do plenty of research for that.
Okay. Are you on board, Mom? Give me a are you on board?
Sure.
Up. Okay. And the reason we're going to talk about this is we are at a stage in this country and this country's history where if you don't rip the Band-Aid off now, it ain't going to heal.
Right.
I am an American. I watched a documentary about the United States hockey team in 1980. It's on Netflix. I highly recommend you watch it.
That's cool.
And one of the things that really kind of hit me is fast forward to this American gold medal team that we just witnessed. And what I really want to kind of impart on people is when that team of college kids beat everybody, Remember, they went undefeated. Okay? It brought such an overwhelming amount of patriotism to this country. Like, nationalism became a thing again. We live in a world of social media where you have mental midgets who will sit there and go, nationalism is a bad thing because it is one step lower than, or one step above fascism. No, it's not. No, it's not. Nationalism,
being proud of our country.
Being proud of your country should never be looked at in a negative light.
No.
And I'm tired of hearing people say that it is a negative thing. If you don't love your country, great. More power to you. This country, fortunately, is free enough still where you can not like your country and live your life. You'll live miserably. Congratulations. Not my problem. But don't look at me like I'm some sort of a troll or a troglodyte because I do love my country. Hey, I got it. It's don't tread on me, right?
Isn't it ironic how our First Amendment kind of backfires in a way on us?
It absolutely does. Because they, well, once again, the way that side operates is they're going to try to put you on the defensive. Don't let them put you on the defensive. If they, hey, do you love your country? Damn right. Do you love your flag? Absolutely, 100%. Which flag do you want me to talk about? Because I know a lot about most of my flags. My flags are a direct representation of my nation's history. Don't tell me my nation's history is horrible. You don't know what you're talking about. Is my nation perfect? No. Newsflash, no nation is perfect. No nation has ever been perfect.
Just ask the Romans.
Right. Hey, talk about Alexander the Great. The man died at the age of 33, and he was a brilliant general, but he wasn't a nice guy. Don't even confuse it.
And don't forget about Caligula.
Hey, none of them were. None of them were perfect. Absolutely zero nations are based around a utopian society. Hey, another one that will rip off the Band-Aid. Utopian societies do not and cannot exist nor function. I hate breaking it to people, but that is a reality. However, a country that has given people the ability to go from nothing and become something, if they put the time and energy and work ethic into it, is the greatest country on earth, and that is this country. It's the only country that exists where you can come from nothing and become something.
250 years worth.
Amen. So we're gonna rip the Band-Aid off about the history of Islamic nations and what they have done to the countries that they have overtaken. I'll give you a hint. Nah, we'll make you wait.
Oh man.
So we're gonna talk about what's going on with Iran and what people need to pay attention to. The Strait of Hormuz has become that's going to be the linchpin that creates the environment that is going to make the powers of Iran give up. And it isn't even the strait. It's the island that they get 90% of their exports come out of the island that Trump hit on Friday.
Karg.
Yep. And
it's like 8 miles long, or something like that. It's not even as big as Manhattan.
Right. But if Iran doesn't if Iran doesn't allow the strait to open up, then Trump is legitimately going to cripple Iran's ability to export oil.
Isn't that what the Tripoli's heading over there for?
Yeah.
I think basically 2,500 Marines, 2,500 sailors.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to pound them before they ever even put boots on ground, and I don't want boots on ground ever.
They got to clean up that coast a little bit too, man.
Well, yeah, and once again, China and Russia are really the economic targets in this whole thing, because China is almost entirely dependent, or they were dependent on both Venezuela and Iran. Now They are dependent entirely on Iran. So talk about cutting the leg off of one of our strongest adversaries. He did it. He did it in the span of he did it in the span of what, 2.5 months?
Trump's trying actually to get China to send one of their naval vessels to help out too.
Well, yeah, and there's a reason for that. He's trying to show them that we can actually coexist.
Right.
But
which is it's a smart move.
But here's the thing: you're going to have to coexist on American terms,
on our terms, correct?
Right, because we're the ones that are. Because here's the thing about this Islamic regime in Iran. They don't like the Chinese or the Russians any more than they like. When you stop and realize that if you are a part of that specific sect of Islam, if you're not Islamic, you're an infidel. And if you're an infidel, you have no rights.
Well, you need to die.
Right.
That's ultimately what they want you to do.
That is correct. And it doesn't, for those of you who are, oh, well, they're a religion of peace. Have you actually read any of the things in Quran that talk about Christians and Jews and people who are not Islamic?
Every section of the Quran, every section that I've ever read says nothing, mentions nothing about peace.
Yeah. It talks about killing the non-believers.
And not even among their own people.
Hey, it talks about the apostates. You know what an apostate is, right?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what an apostate is someone who leaves your religion, right, and moves into a different religion. Do you realize that they closed over 50,000 mosques in Iran because there is an underground upswing in Christianity? Did you know that? Yeah. They don't want you to know that. That's why it's a state-run media, which, right. Oh, by the way, we're headed in that direction if we're not careful. Well, what do you people think CNN and MSNBC is doing? What do you think Rachel Maddow does? Rachel Maddow is not reporting the news. Rachel Maddow is a straight-up propagandist. You don't have to believe me. Just read some of the lies that woman's put out.
That still kills me. That still kills me how people
believe her
live here and hate this country so much. I don't get it.
Born here and hate this country.
Yeah. Really? Man, no. I should open a business and help people pack their luggage.
Oh man, wouldn't that be great?
Just leave. Go ahead and leave, man. I mean,
here's the worst part of that, and I'm going to let my mom have the floor for a bit. The worst part of this is they won't leave.
Right, because it's a great country.
Mom, it's yours.
Yeah, not only will they not leave, but when they do leave, they turn around and come back. Come back just like that idiot. What's her face? Rosie O'Donnell or whatever. Useless piece of person that she is.
Oh, Mom, come on.
Did she come back from Ireland already?
Yeah,
Mom.
you know.
Mom,
her and what was that other one?
Ellen?
Whatever her name was that went to England and she's come back.
Ellen DeGeneres?
Yeah.
Oh.
Idiot woman that she was or whatever she is.
I wonder why they came back.
Yes, well, let's see.
Could it be that the grass
on a good note, we have a little bit of snow.
Yeah. For those of you who are not in this area, we have snow.
And that's a good thing. We need it.
Hey, I want to thank Joel again. Joel came in here because right now I don't have the ability to get into the new studio. Joel actually took time to come in here. So, I am a firm believer that you show gratitude any opportunity you have.
Absolutely.
This guy Joel is one of the best men that I have ever had the privilege of meeting and knowing. The man comes in, he gives his own time. He does not ever expect anything back except honesty and dedication. That's what he expects back. So, Joel, you get 100% kudos, 100% thank you, 100% gratitude. You are a good man. I am proud to call you my brother, man.
Well, I appreciate it. I quit. You guys are gonna make me blush.
Thanks, Joel. Hey, Mark, you forgot you need to include lunch sometime too.
Heck yeah, man.
That's definitely
Oh yeah, and Joe bought me lunch last night. So
hey,
I mean, holy crap. I'm like way behind the 8 ball, man.
well, no, but we're buying him lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. The next time we're all here together, which I'm hoping is next weekend, Joel needs to come in and just sit and enjoy the show and then have lunch. What else do I want to cover today? I think we covered a lot already. We really look, Colorado's government is in complete shambles. Oregon is in shambles. California is in shambles. All you need to do is look at the people who have any kind of generational wealth and realize that they're leaving these states because they see the writing on the wall. The only way you can change that is to change the way you vote. The only way you can change the way you vote is to be honest about the direction you've gone in. And I've talked about this a couple of times, and I'm going to have to bring it up again. Pride is one of the worst enemies of the human race.
It's a sin.
We get so proud of ourselves. We get pride, and we let pride just control our decision-making process, and we let pride change our minds. Or, I am not so proud to admit when I'm wrong. And one of the reasons why I am the way I am is because I don't look at anything of what's going on as what's in it for me. When I go out and I honor our fallen veterans, by the way, for those of you, if you want to have your loved ones honored Memorial Day weekend, reach out to National Honor Tour's Facebook page, and we will take care of them. If they are buried at Fort Logan, they will have a live bugler in front of their gravesite. We also do a roll call on Sunday, at the end of the day on Sunday. That roll call covers anybody who is not buried at Fort Logan. One of the things that I've been doing, I started doing it this week, is I've created I save pages where I see a fallen veteran and they get added to the roll call. So every one of the 7 men and women who lost their lives in this Iran conflict, they got added. Their names are going to be called, and they're going to get a proper performance of taps.
That's awesome. Thanks, Mark. Thank you.
If you want to add names, just add names. And look, if you don't know about National Honor Tour, check out National Honor Tour on Facebook. You can look at our website. It's nationalhonortour.org. You can reach out to Joel. Brothers and sisters that are watching the show, reach out to Joel. Joel will get you all of the contact information so that I can honor your brothers and sisters, because that is something that is important. We need to remember those who fell in the service of our country, and we need to honor them. We also need to be willing to acknowledge that many of us served our country, were willing to give our lives, and we're fortunate enough to continue to live and continue to try to be productive members of society. And that is something that is equally important. So,
hey, Mark,
yeah, go ahead.
We also need to get the point across to the people, to the haters, that these are the people that are the reason why they're allowed to do and say what they're doing and saying.
What, you mean we have haters?
They need to learn to respect the fallen, because those are the people that have provided the path to whatever path they choose.
Right. So you're saying we have haters?
Well, maybe not. Well, yeah, we have haters, I'm sure, but I'm talking about haters of the United States of America.
Fair enough. I'll take that.
The ones that won't leave, because it's so terrible here, but
yeah, it's terrible.
But they're still here. So those people we need to get that point across to them somehow.
Agreed. Hey,
the fallen are the ones that provided that path for them.
Yeah, this country is horrible. We should stick around a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, make that make sense.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Go figure. Hey, Mark, thanks for what you do, man.
Appreciate it.
For the National Honor Tour. That's like the coolest stuff ever. I'm hoping to be there with you this Memorial weekend this year.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then from there on out, last year I wanted to and I couldn't, but I had a whole lot of other things going on that I couldn't get out of. So
right.
This year I'm totally free. I want to help out any way I can.
All right. Well, next week we are going to talk about the history of Islam and its relationship with the United States, because believe it or not, it has a history with the United States. And we're going to cover that. We're going to cover a lot. So have a great rest of your Sunday. I actually have a big band gig tonight. It is by invitation only, unfortunately. And but we're going to be playing and having a good time. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America. And we'll see you guys next week.
Godspeed, everybody.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25 and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Thanks for watching and listening to Military Broadcast Radio on Roku TV. If you missed today's episode, the podcast will be available on
and all major platforms shortly after we go off the air. We're here for you, not for us, giving veterans a voice. This is Military Broadcast Radio.